On today's show, kids get a hands-on introduction to the great outdoors. Literally thousands of them.
All right, open it up.
Tag along as a nature photographer hits the lonely trail.
So we have some beautiful pheasant fillets.
And Asian-inspired wild game. Laura and Jim get to work in the kitchen.
Minnesota Bound, presented by Connecticut Water Treatment Systems.
Hi everybody, Bill, Millie and I welcome you to Minnesota Bound.
Up first, we are headed to Alexandria, Minnesota, where a couple of outdoor lovers had an idea to get more children compelled to get outdoors.
And you might say their idea they dreamed up turned into a lot more. Travis Frank has the story.
If you walk past any shooting range in the summer, you probably know what you'll hear. But at one particular range at the end of August, that sound is replaced by something even louder. And not just one or two duck quacks.
When you got 2,000 kids running around blowing duck calls and goose calls, it gets pretty exciting.
The excitement starts here at the Alexandria shooting range.
This is called Youth Outdoor Activity Day.
A day dedicated to teaching kids outdoor skills.
All right, open it up.
If you have a wristband, please proceed forward.
So we got over 40 activities that the kids can get involved in. We got birdhouse making. They do shelter building, fire building. We got bow and arrow fishing, archery fishing, you know, outdoor, all outdoor stuff.
Plus, bikes, bumps, casting, shooting, climbing, and so much more. And there's even a spot for outdoor critters.
Oh yeah!
Yeah, this outdoor party has it all. And the best part, kids don't pay a dime.
There's no registration fees. There's no charge to get in. There's no charge for food. Food is donated or bought and put on, so it's free. Everything is free.
That is the best part for a lot of these kids. They wouldn't have the resources to go fishing or try bow hunting, and to be able to come here and do that's probably the best part for many of these kids.
Dean Krebs and Gene Sullivan launched this annual event back in 2014 out of the goodness of their outdoor-loving hearts.
A gentleman from Viking Sportsman who's no longer with us, unfortunately, and myself really started this thing.
Others saw their plan and came to help.
We've partnered with conservation organizations, local businesses, the DNR, law enforcement. Everybody's got their little niche, and when kids come out here, it's a participation day.
An entire event dedicated to kids.
First year, we're hoping that we're going to get 100 kids, 150 kids. I was secretly hoping for 200 kids. We put a lot of effort into it. 542 kids showed up that first year. And so then it's just increased by leaps and bounds.
That's an understatement.
We're well over 2,000 kids that are already through the door. People are itching to get out and do some of these outdoor activities.
Every year we've come.
And I liked how you would get free lunch and a free milkshake.
The parents are like, I cannot believe I can come here with my family and get, you know, a t-shirt for my kids. I can get free lunch for everybody in the family. Everybody gets ice cream.
Plus, kids can gear up.
We're giving away a lot of different sporting equipment like fishing rods and bows and arrows and binoculars and BB guns and all that type of stuff. Now they've got the equipment.
And now they've got the chance to let a single day hook them on the great outdoors for life.
Get out here, you try a whole bunch of different activities, then the family can start looking, say, oh, my son or daughter really like the rock climbing wall or camping, and so let's go camping as a family.
Just helping kids in the area understand that there's more to being inside, playing video games.
Hosting a party to pass outdoor skills down to the next generation. That's the mission at Alexandria's Youth Outdoor Activity Day.
Coming up, the intimate act of capturing nature. Joe Fierst walks the woods.
Minnesota Bound is brought to you by Connecticut Water Treatment Systems, Strike Master, Midwest Exteriors MN, and by Ice Castle Fish House and RV.
The life of a nature photographer usually involves camping out in the woods from sunup to sundown, right? Well, we tag along with nature photographer Joe Fierst, whose schedule is slightly different.
To capture a moment in nature, one has to take a moment or two, or maybe more. Joe Fierst has lots of moments.
Obviously, you have to spend time outdoors to be in the right place at the right time. But, there is a lot of luck involved being outside when something's happening.
Especially when you're in the flower and fauna business of nature photography.
I was in the military after high school and saw some classes offered for photography through the recreation center. The technical side of it made sense to me, that being able to understand the exposure, figure out your composition and why are you picking this angle versus that angle, and help me develop it as more just more than somebody who's clicking the shutter.
Joe's rather technical approach to snapping a shot makes sense. Proof is in the photograph. Joe's day doesn't begin in the woods, where you might expect. It begins here.
I'm a software developer. I've been programming computers for a long time. I'm able to sit down and think out logically what has to happen to get from what inputs we have. If I'm at work, I'm working. And, unless there's an owl calling out, it's like... Back when I actually sat at a desk, I had a lot of photography around my cube, and I would try to make sure people would realize it was my pictures and not just corporate stuff off the shelf type thing.
Today, Joe has two offices, one with a computer for Ameriprise Financial, and the other with a camera out in Mother Nature.
I mean, this time of year, late October, early November, I would think that if there's any deer around, they'll be a little less aware of the humans, because the bucks will be looking for does. I'd like to think that there's two separate parts of the brain, actually, because it's very logical, and the photography is more of an artistic thing. But I've always prided myself in being able to do both.
And Joe uses both when searching for his favorite subject to photograph. Can you guess who it is?
Currently, probably owls. I've been chasing owls for quite a few years now, and always have my ear open to when owls are being sighted. I'm always looking for tree cavities, see if they can find a roosting owl or something nesting in one of those, to wait out the day until it's nighttime.
Joe has chased owls in Yellowstone, the Tetons, the Badlands, and right here in Minnesota.
There was one spot where they one had roosted for several weeks in a row, so I was able to find pellets underneath where the owl was sitting, and they were molting, and so there's feathers, so all these other fun things that you can do besides just take a picture of the owl.
Paying attention pays off.
If you don't put yourself in the place for an opportunity, you'll never get it. So
words to live by.
Still ahead, a young mind creates a new gadget to help clean up at the shooting range.
We're gonna lift that up.
But first, Laura meets up with Jim to whip up an Asian-inspired wild game dish.
Perfection.
Closed captioning provided by Star Bank.
Hi everybody, Chef Jim Kinberg from Crave Restaurants is back for Wild in the Kitchen today. Chef Jim, I am so excited to be cooking with you once again. What are we making this afternoon?
We're doing pheasant egg rolls.
Ooh, that sounds delicious. Now that's really unique.
Yeah, well, everybody loves egg rolls and pheasant. Come on, it's a natural.
It is a natural. I see some pheasant marinating over there.
You are correct. So we have some beautiful pheasant fillets, breasts. You'll notice they're boneless, skinless, and then they're soaking in the marinade. So the marinade, very simple. It's soy sauce, toasted sesame oil, fresh ginger, fresh garlic, and that's it.
All right, what's our next step?
Our next step, now that the pheasant is marinated, we're gonna pound it thin. So we're gonna cover this in a little plastic wrap, and that's gonna prevent that marinade from splashing all over your kitchen.
That would not be good. I'm assuming I need a gentle touch here, yes?
Gentle touch, yes. That's exactly what you wanna see. See how it's just kind of laying flat, it's relaxing. Got medium-high heat, nice sizzle.
And how long does it take to cook on each side?
No more than 2 minutes when we pound it thin like that.
This one's gonna be good, Jim. I can smell the ginger and the garlic already. That smells amazing.
You notice I got the same pan, the pan we cooked the pheasant breast in.
All the flavors in there.
All the flavors in the bottom of that pan, and we're gonna saute the mushrooms in that. Just like that. Now it's time to combine all of our ingredients. So we've got the warm pheasant. You wanna put the warm mushrooms in there. And Laura, we've got some green onions there.
That's good.
And then I've got some cabbage slaw there. There's some carrots in there, there's some cilantro, but cabbage is the main ingredient.
Look at how pretty that looks.
All right, I think we are ready to actually roll the egg rolls. This is the fun part. So we've scrambled the egg, and I just want you to about 1 inch in on each side. You don't have to be too careful. You can just crank it on there.
Right.
So we're gonna grab about 3 ounces. I want the filling going across this way.
Diagonal.
Right in the center, right in the center. So we're gonna start at that bottom corner. We're gonna lift that up. We're gonna fold that one in, fold that one in. And here's where we wanna make sure it's kind of tight, but not too tight. If it's too tight, it'll explode.
Perfection.
There we go.
Perfection. Now I'm guessing it's time to fry them up.
It is, time to get cooking. So I'm gonna be very careful when I'm placing those in there. I don't wanna splash.
Yes.
And you also don't wanna overcrowd that pan.
About a minute each side?
Well, total cooking time is usually at least 3 minutes.
It is officially pheasant hunting season, and Chef Jim, I thank you for sharing your wild harvest with us today. And
you're very welcome.
Making the delicious egg rolls, and I'm ready for a taste test. Are you?
Yeah, definitely, and these look great.
Dip it in the sauce here. So good.
They are really good.
Don't forget, you can find this delicious recipe and more on mnbound.com. Nice work.
Thanks, you too.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Coming up next, the story behind this teen and his invention aimed at helping clean up the shooting range.
Minnesota Bound is brought to you by Radco Truck Accessories, Minnesota Historical Society, and by Totem Resorts, the premier destination for world-class fishing.
Up next, Travis Frank introduces you to a young entrepreneur, one whose invention seems to be right on target.
Paul. Chris Spacek is not afraid to take a shot. Paul. He is a high school senior shooting on Orono, Minnesota's trap shooting team. Like his teammates, Chris shoots to perfect his aim. Hit or miss. Every shot ends a spent shell.
The whole High school trap shooting sport has over 24,000 kids in it to date. So I mean, just exponential amounts of shells being produced.
Shells fill buckets. Buckets fill barrels.
We were realizing all of them going into the landfill.
Chris took aim at another shot, keeping them out.
Yep, we box them up, throw them in the back of our car or truck, and bring them home.
There, he had an idea.
SSRM, shotgun shell recycling machine.
His neighbor Tom brought it to life.
I've always had that ability to take a project and come up with a solution. You say a non-educated, no, non-degreed engineer.
In Tom's garage, they recycle as a perfect team.
Yeah. Okay. I play with the ideas and equipment, and he does the work.
What we do first is we take the shells and we throw them in a sorting machine. From that sorting machine, the brass goes one way and the steel goes the other way. Then we take them and we actually run them through the machine.
Plastic shell casings drop left. Brass and steel fall to the right.
When we bring to this yard, they can't have the steel primer in them. So we needed a machine to get the steel primer out of the brass shells.
Again, Tom built the solution.
Yeah, hammers.
In seconds, shells are ready to recycle.
The whole idea was to keep it out of the landfill. That's what started.
It's good for the environment, first of all, but then second of all, I mean, the plastic we can make money off of, and the steel we can make money off of, so it's an opportunity sitting right there before us.
An opportunity that hasn't come easy.
We're the first ones to ever really do this. There we go.
Right there, hung up right there.
Right on
That's
the,
unusual.
Right on the lip. That's
okay.
That's a new one.
Hey, that was a new one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely been a learning curve though, because there hasn't been a set path to go.
Grinding ahead, they've recycled more than 500,000 shotgun shells. And counting.
Yeah, we've cut a lot of shells. It's over 3,000 pounds of steel we've recycled. I would say it's satisfying to, see something that was going to waste actually have a purpose.
This shotgunning trash has turned into their treasure.
When we started out, we envisioned that every gun club would have to have 2 or 3 of these machines, and I think that's still a possibility.
You might say they're aiming high.
At this point, it's a garage operation, but it's got a massive possibility of growth.
All because one high schooler took a shot at a sport he loves and leaving it better than the day he started.
Paul.
Now that is a cool idea.
Absolutely. Way to see his work in action, huh, Millie?
Well, that about does it for us. We'll see you back here next week.
In the meantime, don't forget to introduce a kid to the great outdoors.
Transportation provided by Premier Transportation. Call 1-800-899-7433. To get more Minnesota Bound, including full episodes, go to mnbound.com. And to follow our latest adventures, like us on Facebook.